Welcome to the Snazzy Sage Podcast. I'm Dr. Kerry, your host and coach. Each week, I chat with remarkable guests who are thriving in their next chapter with confidence, purpose, and style. Because the next chapter isn't about age, it's all about attitude. Let's dive in. Today, I'm joined by Jim Schreiner, a fellow Victor High School alum and co-founder of the JD Blues Band. Jim is a musician, leader, and lifelong community builder who blends creativity and purpose in everything he does. After discovering music early on, he found his voice on the harmonica and behind the mic. And since 2011, his band has grown from a simple duo into a local favorite known for its soulful mix of blues, rock, and contemporary sound. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Kerry. It's nice to be here.
So let's start by getting to know you a little bit. Tell us about yourself.
I was born and raised in Farmington, New York, and I'm an 88 graduate of Victor High School. I attended college at Genesee Community College, and I graduated from there in 1990. I started my career right out of college, and I'm in the automated material handling industry. And I worked for a local company at first called Retrotech, and then started to move to some other companies. I work for a company called Dematic now, and I am a senior manager of installation for that company. Married my wife, Diane, in June of 1995. And we got two children, Rachel and Kyle. We raised them in Fairport, and then we moved back to Farmington in 2019.
That's terrific. And I'm very interested in your music career, and I see you posting a lot on social media in the JD Blues Band. Can you tell us where and how did you first get into music? What instruments do you play?
Well, I started playing brass instruments in fifth grade, and I played brass instruments all the way through school. In concert band, we had a really good pep band at Victor. We had a marching band, so I was involved with that for years. I wasn't in chorus, but probably looking back should have been.
I'm going to jump in because this got me excited. So I remember in fifth grade, I played clarinet. And then sixth, because I couldn't, like everyone was already in the flute. And then sixth grade, I got into flute. I was also in junior high school band, but then stopped there. I have to tell you that, I don't know, maybe this is now 45 plus years later, I still have my flute.
You do still have it. I still have a trumpet in a case sitting in there. But I was very involved with scouting even as a young kid, and I always loved the songs and the skits within Cub Scouts and Scouts, and I always had leaders that promoted that. Within the JD Blues Band now, I play harmonica, I sing, I share the singing duties, but I also have some percussion that I play, a snare drum and a crash ride cymbal. I've got a tambourine, of course, a cowbell. I got to have one of those.
I don't know why I always think of Will Ferrell and
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. And how did you get involved in the harmonica?
Well, I was at a camp with my son. I think he was 10 or 11 years old. And I bought a cheap plastic harmonica at the trading post. And I just started fiddling around with it for no rhyme or reason. I just was like, I'll fiddle around with this for the week. And I really liked it. I just took to it pretty easily. I bought myself a nicer harmonica, started to watch some YouTube videos, and I really started to enjoy it and how you can make different sounds with it. And great thing about the harmonica is it's always in tune, always in key.
I always say as a joke that if a bar, is closing at, let's say 1 a.m. and they can't get anyone out, they should hire me to sing. My voice is so bad.
They'll clear the room. Huh?
I would clear the room. For Christmas last year, I got a keyboard. And I got some Christmas carols, and you play, press the number for each finger. And I'm so excited that it's holiday time. And, I've been very bad all year about playing. But to your point, just watching YouTube videos, and I've loved music my whole life. I'm terrible at it, but I think it uses a different part of your brain, especially when...
It does. Yeah. It does. You're expressing yourself artistically. It's similar to painting or sculpting or things like that. It's an artistic expression of yourself or your band, rather.
Absolutely. So tell us about the JD Blues Band. How did that come about? If you don't mind, if I ask you, how old were you when you first started it?
I started it with a colleague named David Roberts. He was an engineer at a company I was working for in the spring of 2011. I was just into the harmonica then. I was just outside messing around with it on lunch hour, sitting out at a picnic table on our campus. And he was outside too. It was a nice day. Came over, just started talking about music. He said he played the guitar, and he said, "Boy, I should bring my guitar in and jam with you." And I was like, "Well, I don't know about that. I'm not really that good." But he said, "Yeah, let's do it." So we agreed that Friday. He brought his guitar in, and the rest is history. We took a liking to each other, and musically, he is an exceptional musician. My partner, David, and he really pushed me and helped me to find my sound, find my chops, if you will. And we just started jamming together after work. And for the first couple of years, that's all we really did. We played for a family party here or there, but we really started to get serious after a year or two and started to realize, hey, we're making some pretty good music, and it's just progressed from there.
So you were in your 40s when you started.
I was 41 when we started the JD Blues Band, and that's for Jim and Dave. We really did just play a lot of simple 12-bar blues songs. That's how we really started to learn, and it's just branched out from there. Now we have over 270 some odd covers that we'll do. We have some originals also, and we're performing not only as our classic duo, but we perform as a power trio with a bassist, and we've also started to play some gigs with a drummer as a full 4-piece band.
Nice.
So really depends on what our client wants and the size of the venue that we're playing.
And what type of music? You mentioned blues. Is that the primary focus, or do you get into jazz and rock?
We play all kinds of music. Our band name can be deceiving. We did start out as really just blues, but we play all types of blues, rock. We play country music. We play some punk music, and we play a lot of different contemporary type of songs where they're just pop type songs, but we incorporate the harmonica into. So most songs have a catchy riff or something like that that's played on guitar, or there's something on the keyboard. We try to get those in as a harmonica riff, and it's really worked out pretty well for us.
And do you write any of your own music, or are they mostly covers or a blend of the two?
We do mostly covers. We do have some of our own music. We've got about 10 songs, and all of our original songs are all blues-based songs, 12-bar blues type of songs.
And if someone wanted to go out and watch your band, what are some of the venues that you guys play at?
So, great question. We had nearly 30 gigs this year by the end of the year, and we've played some great spots. We do mostly on the east side of Rochester, so we've played at some places in Fairport, Faircraft Brew House. We're in Victor. We play at the Victor Village Inn. We've played at the Victor Music and Food Festival for a couple years now. We've played a few Fairport Music Festival pop-up events up in Penfield. We get around to a lot of different places.
That sounds so great. And if someone's listening from Colorado or Oregon, I actually have a few folks from Ireland and Belgium. Thank
Oh,
you.
really?
Yeah, for listening. Are you on YouTube, or are there ways besides to listen
Yeah,
to?
if you search JD Blues Band on YouTube, you should find us. We've got a few things on there. We do have an active Facebook page that we post music to, little stories and different things like that. I link that with my personal page too. And then we have a website that we're in the midst of revamping, actually. We're going into 2026, and I think we have 11 gigs booked in 2026 already, and are really looking forward to a pretty active year.
That's really exciting. Well, we're both virtually the same age, and I'm going to call it mid 50s.
Mid 50s, yep.
50s. And I don't know about you, but I am exhausted at 5 o'clock every night, because now I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and that's where all my energy is, and forget it at night. How do you have the stamina to play music in the evenings and on weekends?
So that's a great question, Kerry. I think first and foremost is you got to get your sleep, and you got to get your rest no matter what time it is. I need about 7 hours of pillow time a night. Doesn't really matter when I get it, as long as I get it. So I really have to manage my time between the band, work, family, and my volunteer work with scouting. Most of our gigs are on Fridays and Saturdays.
That's terrific. And I want to give a kudos to you that I read in your bio that you're an Eagle Scout, which is a very small percentage of the population. So
I am. Thank you very much for that. My son is also an Eagle Scout.
Wow. And isn't
Yeah.
that true? It's a very small percentage of the
It
population.
is a very small percentage. I think it's 2% of every youth in scouting attains the rank of Eagle.
Wow,
I
congratulations.
earned mine with Troop 50 in Farmington, New York.
That's great. Now, if someone is listening and they played an instrument years ago and this is inspiring to them and they want to start playing, or maybe they've always had a passion to start a band, what advice would you give them?
I would say if you've played something before, just pick it up again and start making some sounds. It's going to come back to you. YouTube is great for any type of instrument that you want to play. There is lessons and play alongs and
Hmm.
all kinds of things. If it's a new instrument that you're thinking about getting into something new, seek out someone for lessons. There's some great places here in the Rochester area that you can take beginner lessons as an adult. Anytime you want. If you feel the urge, go for it. Just pick something up and give it a shot. It doesn't hurt to try.
And I think that's so inspirational and motivational that sometimes we want to try something, but we hold ourselves back.
I'm closer to the end than I am to the beginning now. You don't want to wait for stuff. If you want to try something, go ahead and try it. Give it
Yeah.
a shot. What have you got
Yeah.
to lose?
And for me, my entire life, I've been that type A personality. I've been a perfectionist, but I read a great quote once that said, "Don't let perfection get in the way of good." And
Yeah, that's a great.
following that quote is just, I've been able to enjoy. I started sewing in my mid 30s, fell in love with it. I didn't care if I was good at it. I just enjoyed
Okay.
it.
Yeah. I take the harmonica, for example. If just grabbing a harmonica and making some sounds and it's fun for your family around the campfire on a Friday night, then that's great. That's good for you. Not everybody's going to go out and form a band and whatnot and go out and play in front of people. But you can do great things with percussion and a little few things like that, some tambourines and different
Mm.
things. You can really make some. And I think making music to me and performing for people is all about creating an atmosphere that allows them to have fun and cut loose and just unwind. I love watching the crowd from the stage because I just love seeing people smile and laughing and hooting and hollering and having a good time. It's refreshing. It's energizing.
And I can say as a stand-up comedian, I share that when someone
Yeah.
laughs at my joke and I see the laughter,
Oh yeah.
it
Yeah.
is, you couldn't pay me any amount of money in the world. That's such an amazing feeling.
Yeah, that's a high you can't pay for. You got to earn.
At Snazzy and Sage, we talk about a lot of different things and really trying to shift the view on aging. So,
Okay.
enjoying and getting inspired and having a new viewpoint. So, how do you view aging?
I do believe somewhat that it's just a number. You're as old as you feel. But I am 55 now, and aging is inevitable. And it's something that I think about more than I did, say, 10 years ago. I've had a lot of challenges and successes through the years and a lot of adventures too. And that's not going to stop just because I'm, in my mid 50s and heading towards 60. Got a lot of things left to do with this life of mine, but just try and enjoy it. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to stop having fun and stop having good adventures and good times with friends and family.
And I think that's some great advice and really back to the basics. Having fun is so important. And which
Yeah.
leads me to my next question. What makes you excited these days? How do you find joy?
What excites me right now is really the performance of music for people. It's just giving everything I've got and having people cheer and clap for what we've done is an awesome feeling. The joy, I would say the joy comes from watching my children. They are adults now and they're healthy and successful and happy. And that brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah, and going through life's transitions are sometimes so challenging and so hard, but you can hear
Yeah.
the gratitude in your voice for what comes next. On a lighter note, here at Snazzy and Sage, our tagline is Snazzy Style and Sage Advice. So I want to ask a
Yep.
style question. What is your go-to style piece?
I am wearing one of them today. I don't know if you can see it. I love Robert Graham shirts, and I like to wear them when we play.
So for those folks listening, could you describe your shirt? It's a lot of fun. How would you describe it?
This one that I got on, it's so multicolored. This was the first Robert Graham shirt I bought. It's got nice trim on the sleeves. It's just a colorful explosion going on. Other than that, I'm like a keen boot and Hoka sneaker kind of guy. I like comfortable footwear.
Comfort is ever so important, and I love your style, and it fits with your brand of the JD Blues Band, which is so much fun.
I do want to give a shout out to, I mentioned David Roberts, but we've got a bassist that plays with us pretty regularly named Jack McSorley. He's actually a young man that was in my son's scout troop in Fairport. And he's a nice exuberance of youth in the JD Blues Band lineup.
That's terrific. And I think we covered this earlier, but just to touch on it again, if someone wants to follow you on social media and learn more about the JD Blues Band and where you're playing, where can they find you?
We're on Facebook, JD Blues Band. You'll see our logo on there.
So, Jim, what's next for you?
I have been asked to consider a new and more expansive volunteer role with scouting. Seneca Waterways Council is our scouting council here in the Finger Lakes region. I want to continue to promote and perform with JD Blues Band. I want to keep doing that for, as much as I can, as long as I can.
Thank you, Jim. Your story has been such a great reminder that music doesn't stop just because life gets busy or we hit a certain age. We just have to pick up that instrument again.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think you're right on with that, Kerry.
Thank you for tuning in to Snazzy Sage. If you loved today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Want to elevate your style and confidence? Visit snazzyandSage.com to explore individual and group coaching that helps you look and feel your best from the inside out. Until next time, stay snazzy.